this individual is reaching out, asking if Mr. Demons is good after he's been tagged in multiple social media posts about this this shooting. And Mr. Demons responds very succinctly, "I did that." Shh. Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of the evidence, the state is confident that you will find the defendant guilty as charged of the first-degree murder of Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams. Thank you.
A clip of YNW Melly praying and blowing a kiss during his murder trial has gone viral.
He was doing it a couple times. That wasn't his first time.
Yeah. The victim's mother says it was disrespectful.
What you praying for? Because you sitting over there like you don't got no remorse. Like every time I walk in, you smiling. You know, this ain't the time for that. This case is sad.
Melly, whose real name is Jamell Demon, is accused of killing 2 friends in 2018 and covering it up as a drive-by shooting.
YNW Melly got denied bond again. This is the 3rd time a judge has said no. He's been in jail since 2019. 6 years, facing 2 first-degree murder charges in the death of YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser. If convicted, he could get life. Now look, there's a lot of people who think Melly's actually guilty, and the details of this case are wild. But 6 years with no conviction? That is most of his 20s gone. His team offered house arrest, an ankle monitor, and even labeled back bond, still denied. Guilty or not, is it fair to lose that much time before a verdict? Should Melly be out of jail until trial begins in September, or is staying locked up the right move?
How many personalities do you have?
6. You got Marcus, you got YNW Melly, the rapper, you got Melvin. But Melvin just started rapping too.
Yeah, I am Melvin and I am a killer. Don't play with the crew. If you do, I'm a king.
The internet went into complete chaos over just 2 words. YNW Melly coming home. That's all it took. No court document, no official statement, no confirmation from lawyers, just a post from his own mother. And suddenly, millions of people believed one thing. YNW Melly was finally about to walk free. But here's the problem. That might not be true at all. And the reality behind those 2 words is way more complicated and way more serious than most people realize. Because this story didn't start in 2026. It started nearly 7 years ago. And it hasn't stopped getting darker since. It all exploded on April 15th, 2026. Out of nowhere, Jaime Demons King, YNW Melly's mother, posted a short message hinting that her son was coming home soon. No explanation, no timeline, just emotion. And within minutes, the entire internet ran with it. Fans celebrated, pages reposted it like breaking news. People started acting like the case was already over. But there was one issue nobody wanted to talk about. Nothing official had actually changed, at least not publicly. There was no release order, no signed decision, no legal confirmation. So, why would she say that? Why now? That's where things start getting interesting. Because something has been happening behind the scenes. To understand why those words hit so hard, you have to look at what YNW Melly has been going through. He's been locked up since February 2019. Let that sink in. Over 7 years. Sitting in a jail cell without a conviction. No guilty verdict, no sentencing, just waiting. His first trial didn't even happen until 2023. And after weeks of arguments, evidence, and testimony, the jury couldn't agree. A mistrial. That should have been a turning point. But instead of resolution, everything slowed down even more. Court dates kept getting pushed, legal battles kept stacking up, and the retrial, now scheduled for 2027. That's almost a decade behind bars, without a final decision. And that kind of delay starts raising serious questions. But here's the twist. Recently, things started shifting. In early 2026, something unexpected happened. Prosecutors quietly dropped several charges against YNW Melly. Not small ones either. We're talking about witness-related counts, gang-related claims, and additional accusations that were originally part of the case. His legal team immediately called it significant, because when charges start disappearing, it usually means something behind the scenes isn't as strong as it once looked. At the same time, YNW Melly brought in a new high-profile defense team. And they didn't waste time. They filed for bond again, something that had already been denied multiple times before. But this time, it felt different. Because now, there's an actual hearing scheduled. April 30th, 2026. For the first time in years, a judge will seriously consider whether Melly should be released while waiting for trial. That's a huge moment, because if approved, he could walk out under strict conditions. If denied, he stays locked up until at least 2027. And right there, that date might explain everything. But just when things started looking better for him, something else happened. Something that could change the entire case. His co-defendant, YNW Bortland, made a move nobody expected. Right before his own trial, he took a deal. After years of staying silent, he folded. Instead of facing multiple life sentences, he accepted a reduced charge and a fixed sentence. But that wasn't the real headline. The real headline was this. As part of the deal, he agreed to give a full statement to prosecutors. That's called a proffer. And in simple terms, it means he has to tell everything he knows. Now think about that. He was in the car that night. He knows exactly what happened. And now, he can be forced to speak. Before this, he could stay silent and protect himself. Now, that protection is gone. And if he testifies, it could either confirm the prosecution's entire case or completely shake it. Either way, it changes everything. Because the biggest issue in this case has always been the evidence. And it's not simple. According to investigators, all the shots came from inside the vehicle, not from a drive-by, not from outside, inside. That alone already contradicts the original story. Then there's trajectory analysis, which allegedly places the shooter in YNW Melly's position. And even more concerning, signs that the scene may have been staged afterward. That's why prosecutors have always believed their case is strong. But here's what people forget. Even with all that, a jury still couldn't convict him in 2023. That means doubt exists, real doubt. And in court, that's everything. So now you've got two forces colliding, stronger evidence, but also a history of uncertainty. And that's exactly why the public is so divided. The internet has completely split into two sides. On one side, you've got the hashtag Free Melly movement, fans who believe he's being treated unfairly, artists showing support, people pointing out how long he's been locked up without a conviction. To them, this isn't just a case, it's injustice. But on the other side, there are people looking strictly at the facts, the forensics, the statements, the plea deal, and they're saying something very different. They believe the truth is already there. And now that Bortland might speak, it could finally come out. So now the question isn't just, is he guilty or not? It's, what actually happens next? Because everything is about to come down to one moment. April 30th. That's the date everyone is watching. That's when the judge decides whether YNW Melly gets bond. If he does, he could finally leave jail after 7 years. House arrest, monitoring, restrictions, but still, freedom. The kind of freedom he hasn't felt in over 7 years. The kind that doesn't come with a cell door, a schedule, or a countdown to the next court date. Just stepping outside, breathing different air, seeing life move again, that alone would change everything. If he gets that chance, because if he doesn't, nothing changes. He stays exactly where he is. Same walls, same routine, same uncertainty. Waiting, not just weeks or months, but possibly until 2027. And in a case that's already dragged on this long, that kind of wait can feel endless. And that's why his mother's post matters more than people think. Because it might not be based on something official. It might not be a confirmed outcome or a legal guarantee. It might be something much more human than that. A feeling. A sense that, for the first time in years, something is finally shifting. That the doors that have stayed shut for so long might actually be starting to open. But belief doesn't guarantee reality. And in a case like this, where delays, surprises, and reversals have been the norm, nothing is guaranteed. Right now, YNW Melly is in one of the most complicated positions imaginable. He's closer to potential freedom than he's been in years, closer than he's ever been since this all began. But at the exact same time, he's also closer to a final outcome that could go completely the other way. And that's the tension, because his career, it never disappeared. Billions of streams, global recognition, a fan base that stayed loyal through everything. But none of that matters in this moment, because everything now comes down to one place, a courtroom, not the internet, not headlines, not what's trending, just a judge, a decision, and whatever comes after it. One decision, that's it. Years of waiting, speculation, arguments, and opinions, all of it gets reduced to a single moment where everything could shift instantly or stay exactly the same. So when you see those words, YNW Melly coming home, just remember something important. Those words didn't come from a court order. They didn't come from a confirmed ruling. They came from hope. And hope isn't always reality. Because in this case, hope has shown up before. Fans have believed before. Moments have felt close before. And every time, something changed. Something delayed. Something pushed everything right back again. That's why this moment feels different, but also uncertain at the same time. Because yes, there are real developments now, real movement behind the scenes, real reasons to believe something could happen. But at the end of the day, nothing is real until it's official. And until that moment comes, everything you're seeing, everything you're hearing, it's all just possibility. But this time feels closer than ever. And that's why everyone is watching so closely. If you made it this far, you already know, this story is far from over. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think he's actually about to walk free? Or is this just another moment that gets people's hopes up? And if you want more breakdowns like this, stories that go deeper than what you see on the surface, hit subscribe. Because the next update on this case, it might not just be another headline. It could change everything.